Four years ago, I predicted that American car companies could go bankrupt because of China. Now, 4 years later, Ford CEO finally agrees with me. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. Pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. And Jim Farley has come out in support of the Electric Viking, saying that I was right when I made the prediction back in 2021. He didn't do this, of course. I'm sure he doesn't know I exist. I'm certain he doesn't know I exist. But Jim Farley has come out and said that American car companies are at risk of going bankrupt because of Chinese brands and their meteoric rise. So the boss of Ford, Jim Farley, has warned that the rise of Chinese automakers could spell doom for American vehicle manufacturers, calling them an existential threat. Now, the irony is that the CEO of Ford actually drives a Chinese EV called the Xiaomi SU7, and I drove one of those 2 days ago. The SU7 is a good car, but I do think there's actually a better car you can buy in China that I tested on the same day. In fact, I tested the previous day, I should say. And then it's an Xpeng. Anyhow, getting back to this story. Speaking to CBS Sunday Morning, Ford's chief Jim Farley said there's some similarities between its rivalry it has with China today and the competition it was facing in the 80s when Japanese car brands were gaining popularity. Oh, I think it's exactly the same thing, but it's on steroids, Farley told CBS. They have enough capacity in China with the existing factories to serve the entire North American market and put us all out of business. Japan never had that. This is a completely different level of risk for our industry. So it's interesting to hear Farley say this. It's getting very serious. The Ford boss said the company is paying billions in sourcing overseas parts for its vehicles because manufacturing those parts in America is too expensive and would result in increased vehicle costs, massively increased costs. These are parts, fasteners, wiring looms, computer chips from other countries, and we pay our tariffs sometimes up to 70% on those parts, he said. That's giving us a $2 billion bill. It's about 20% of our global profit is going away in tariffs. When asked who's footing the bill, Farley replied to CBS, the company right now, and at the end of the day, it's all these workers at Ford. So, I mean, who are the Trump's tariffs actually hurting or helping? In May 2024, the US imposed a 100% surcharge on Chinese-made electric cars. In fact, it's about 110%, something like that. And aside from a few Chinese-built models from Buick and Lincoln and also Volvo sold in North America, there are no big-name Chinese brands like BYD or Great Wall Motors selling vehicles in the United States. Now, that's not technically true. That's what the media has said. Technically, actually, BYD does sell vehicles in the US. It just doesn't sell cars. It sells trucks and buses because it makes them in the US and has done for about 25 years. Anyhow, Farley admitted to driving a Chinese EV himself because they're the competition. And he can see why Americans would want to buy them. And I know a lot of you Americans are frustrated that you can't buy them, or at least test drive them anyway. But you can test drive them if you want to. I'm doing a tour in China. It's going to be in April of next year. And many of you have expressed interest in this tour. I can only take a limited number of people. So if you want to know more details, send me an email, contact@theelectricviking.com. I drive a Xiaomi SU7, high quality, great digital experience. To beat them, you have to know them. My solar and batteries. I've got a 50 kilowatt hour battery here and I've got a big solar array. So I pay $0 for electricity. That's including charging my electric car. Resync Solar is the company that I used. I'll put a link to them in the description below. The road ahead. To counter the Chinese EV attack, Ford has shifted its strategy to offer smaller and more affordable EVs, as well as adopting popular nameplates from the past, including the Capri. I should point out though, Mazda, Nissan, and other companies, but particularly right now Mazda and Nissan, are rebadging Chinese electric cars made by Chinese companies, joint ventures, but they're actually really made by Chinese car companies, and are now selling them globally. So this is another way, it's like a Trojan horse, a way for Chinese companies to take over the global auto market without people realizing. A lot of people are going to buy a Nissan, or maybe not a Nissan, but a lot of people might buy Mazdas or Nissans or EVs made by Chinese car companies have been rebadged with brands that they know of, and they won't realize this. It's like MG. I mean, people are buying MGs, don't have any idea that it's not a British brand anymore. Most of them don't know this. They think it's a British brand when it's actually owned by China, Chinese car company, SAIC. Keeping American manufacturing alive and Americans employed, though, is Jim Farley's top priority. He said, what I care about is that the transformation of Ford, I'd like to be able to come back here in 20 years, if I'm still alive, and see all the people, that they're still busy. But the chances of that are getting slimmer by the day. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.